Motorsport TV Live, brought to you by Motorsport Tickets, the dedicated motorsport experiences provider.
Hello and welcome to Motorsport TV Live. I'm Juliana Chiaviti, and today I have your 2021 IndyCar Series season review. Keep watching because this is one episode you definitely don't want to miss. 2021 represents the resurrection of IndyCar, but some would argue, and I would agree, that IndyCar has been on the upswing since late 2019 with both attendance and audience figures increasing. That said, 2021 was highlighted by a variety of stories such as Jimmy Johnson retiring from full-time NASCAR competition to join the IndyCar Series. Young up-and-coming drivers grabbed the headlines, and another Formula One driver saw his career receive a rebirth after almost being killed in a horrific crash just months earlier. Romain Grosjean begins our 2021 IndyCar year in review because it was absolutely jaw-dropping to see this man climb from a completely fire-engulfed Formula One car to competing in IndyCar just a few months later, and for the first time. With his wealth of open-wheel knowledge and sheer determination, Grosjean was able to capture his first pole position and podium at the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, the fifth race of the season, but only his third, as he elected at that point to not compete on the ovals.
Yes. I mean, that feeling, whoa, I forgot what it was. And honestly, in first part of quali, I was struggling a bit, and my engineer made some really good change over the runs, and we got there in the last, actually fast six, the first time I run scrub red tires, and the car felt so good, so amazing. No, not today. When I saw the group I was in, I was like, oh dear, if we can get out of the first group, that's going to be okay, and we did, and I mean, yes, that last few laps, they were on it.
And although Dale Coy Racing provided Grosjean with a remarkable comeback story, eventually clocking 3 podiums and his first oval race at Gateway, 2022 will see Grosjean replacing Ryan Hunter-Reay at Andretti Autosport and running the full season, including the Indianapolis 500. One of Grosjean's new teammates for 2022 will be Colton Herta, a name which we can all expect to continue to repeat for years to come. Herta, the son of former IndyCar race winner and current race strategist Bryan Herta, is part of the young up-and-coming driver pool, joining the likes of Pato O'Ward, Alex Palou, and Rinus VeeKay, who compete for Arrow McLaren, Chip Ganassi Racing, and Ed Carpenter Racing, respectively. Herta, O'Ward, Palou, VeeKay all made headlines this year by scoring 9 wins between them, and by Palou eventually going on to win the championship. I recently connected with Motorsport.com global editor-in-chief Charles Bradley in studio to get his take on these young guns and to determine if 2021 was a fluke or if we could all expect the same in 2022.
This was no fluke. These kids are here to stay. I mean, when you look at what the job that Alex Palou did this year, it was sensational right from round one. Talking to Dario Franchitti, the driver advisor at Chip Ganassi Racing. Remember, it was Alex's first year with that team, and right from round one, he got everything that he was being told. He put everything into practice. He was ultra aggressive. He was ultra consistent, and he just dominated that championship.
So it's safe to say what you're saying right now is we can expect the same in 2022?
Well, we had a 46-year-old winning the Indy 500, so maybe, I don't think the old guys are done quite yet. And when you've got people like Scott Dixon, Will Power, you know, there is some big experience still in that series, but I think, you know, when you look at what Pato O'Ward did this year, Colton Herta as well, and we've got 4 rookies coming in this year, you know, Devlin DeFrancesco, Callum Ilott, Christian Lundgaard, you know, some real good talent coming over from Europe as well. So again, I think they're going to raise the bar.
Yeah, and from those new drivers, who's your money on?
I think coming from F2, Ilott's definitely got a lot of experience under his belt. I think he suits the cars very well because they're very physical cars to drive. I think Lundgaard, you know, he was part of the Alpine F1 system. Ilott was part of the Ferrari system, so he's been a test driver for them just this past season. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how quickly they can adapt to these cars and how they get on against the experienced guys. Yeah,
so new to IndyCar, but not new to open wheel competition.
Oh, absolutely. So I think they're going to be right in the mix, and it'll be interesting to see how they compare with the guys who've come up through the American system, like Kyle Kirkwood and DeFrancesco, because they've come up through Indy Lights. So they, you know, they've got a lot to learn about ovals, that's for sure.
Herta was also the subject of rumors when it was speculated that he would join Andretti Autosport team owner Michael Andretti in Formula One. But Andretti withdrew his Formula One Alfa Romeo takeover bid when the terms were altered and he discovered at the 11th hour that he would not gain majority control. Well, from young guns, we switched to Helio Castroneves, the veteran, who became a 4-time Indy 500 champion in 2021 after losing his Team Penske ride at the end of 2020.
Helio Castroneves! That is awesome! Spider-Man is back at the Speedway! Wow, look at that. Holding up all 4, Helio Castroneves goes into history. And you're about to see Mr. Excitement go wild. This was spoken about for so long. Would we ever see the Spider-Man climb the fence at the Speedway again? Well, now we got that answer. And the fans have always loved Helio Castroneves.
Castroneves enjoyed 21 years at Penske, where he captured 3 of his Indy 500 victories and the 2020 IMSA Sports Car title. But the fan favorite Castroneves was not left off the IndyCar starting grid for long. After his release from Penske, Helio joined new team boss Michael Shank of Meyer Shank Racing, who announced the Brazilian's part-time return to IndyCar, with his first of 6 races being the Indy 500. Following the Brazilian's historical 4th triumph at the Brickyard, Helio, Jim Meyer, and Michael Shank agreed terms for the veteran to make a full-time comeback in 2022.
Helio, first up, man, congratulations on the new deal. As they say, there is life in the old dog yet.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's amazing to be back. I have to obviously thank not only Mike, but Jim and the entire organization to be able to accomplish and give me that amazing win, as you mentioned. The number 4 was always a little bit closer. People were losing faith. But one thing that we didn't do, myself or Mike, we believed it. And that win was because of that. We put a great team together. Mike was able to find an incredible group to on the number 06. And now we're back. We're back again, obviously for 2022. Just a correction, I'm not replacing Jack Harvey because the intention was to have a 2-car team. So now I'm going to be with the 06 and the 60 will be, Mike can give more an explanation to what's happening. But for sure, it's an amazing and exciting and a lot of work ahead of us because we know we can do well.
Now make sure to keep an eye out for our Motorsport TV live episode dedicated to the 2021 Indy 500. The name Jimmy Johnson is synonymous with NASCAR. As a 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, he's up there with the legends Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt Sr. as having captured the most titles. So when Johnson announced his retirement from full-time NASCAR racing to make the switch to a partial IndyCar campaign, most asked themselves, why? I think to no one's surprise, Johnson struggled in his first season with IndyCar, like most rookies do when they're 46 years old. Yes, you heard correctly, 46 years old. But just because he struggled the first time around, it didn't stop him from trying again.
I thought that so much of this would be closer than it has been. And I've been more surprised than anyone. And I've always been very fair and realistic and honest with myself about challenges I would take on. But, learning a new track and learning this car all at the same time is a lot to handle. And my progress I made at the Detroit race from a Saturday race to a Sunday race was measured. Everybody can see it and notice it. And I haven't had that opportunity, again in the season. So just when the checkered falls, I feel like I know where I am on the track. I know how to exploit the most out of the car and the setup. But, I'm 3 days behind compared to the other guys. So it's going really well. But, this has been a bit more of a challenge than I first bargained for. I really wanted to slow down this year and try something new, which, both of those things are definitely happening. I've never had 4 weeks off in the summer before, so I've made the most of it and have had an amazing time with my family and really have enjoyed the summer break. I feel like the cadence of racing every other weekend has worked really well. And, the season, I'm used to a February to November season. So to have a March, which ended up being April this year to September, that's much more my pace and speed. And I get it that I saw Alex Palou post something about wishing he could race every weekend. And I almost responded and said, be careful what you wish for. I just came from that world. It's for me where I am in life right now, this, 17 race schedules is exactly what I'm after.
Johnson announced he'll be returning to the Carvana-sponsored Chip Ganassi Racing Honda machine in 2022. And this time around, he'll compete for the first time in the Indianapolis 500 in May. It's safe to say we're all looking forward to May this year. And finally, we take you to Nashville for the inaugural Music City Grand Prix. Besides the Indy 500, the Music City Grand Prix had to be one of the most anticipated races of the year. And the new downtown street circuit definitely did not disappoint. Over 100,000 fans enjoyed the spectacle, which included flying cars, stalls, and countless spins on the 11-turn circuit, which also featured Indy's first ever bridge over water. And we'll never forget another Formula One driver, Marcus Ericsson, going airborne over Sebastian Bourdais in the opening few laps, only to go on to win the Grand Prix.
Marcus Ericsson takes the inaugural Music City Grand Prix.
What an improbable win for Marcus Ericsson after being airborne on lap 5. At that moment, would you believe me if I told you were going to win the race later?
No, it's unbelievable. It just shows that in the car anything can happen. You can never give up. And if you have a good team and a good car, you can still get to the victory lane. So this one is the guys, they repaired the car. They did great.
Lost Chip Ganassi coming in.
and to get a 1-2 for Chip as well is amazing. Brian came along this weekend. Amazing to represent them, and Husky Chocolate has been with me for the last year and a half. So thankful. The Honda was great. The power was great all day. But I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Only an IndyCar. Well, there you have it, your top IndyCar series stories from 2021. Be sure to continue watching Motorsport TV Live for all of our 2021 recap videos. I'm Juliana Chiaviti, and I'll be back with you soon.